You want to see a real day in the life of a Y Combinator founder building an AI startup? This is it. But I'm not going to just show you coffee and meetings and me working out. The truth is, your day is either spent in maker mode or manager mode, and most founders drown in Slack messages and emails and never get to that valuable maker time. I'll give you a day in the life and I'll show you my exact maker versus manager system that I implement. What might surprise you is that the most valuable part of my day happens before I've spoken to a single person. I'll even show you an actual picture of my calendar at the end. Let's get into it. It's 5:30 a.m. and this is maker time. Paul Graham defines this as hours of uninterrupted time to get into flow state. It could be writing code, it could be writing a strategy doc, it could be recording Doola HQ videos. I think of this as essentialism time. If I don't do it now, it won't get done. These are the initiatives that build the foundation for Doola's AI business in a box. Depending on if you're a solopreneur or you have a team, there's times when you need to build, right? And that's the maker time. But there's also times when you're a manager. Now, here's the thing, which I'm sure you all know. You know when you're working and someone says, hey, you got a sec? Or someone slaps you and says, hey, I got a quick question. That sucks when you're in maker mode. You get completely pulled out of flow. It's like if I'm recording now and someone just started tapping me on the shoulder. You would hate it. That is why maker time is so sacred, which is why I like to start early in the morning. That is the first block of my day. Now, in this block, I think the key is you need hours of uninterrupted time. It can't be 30 minutes because if you have a meeting in 30 minutes, the second you start working, your brain's already thinking, oh crap, I have a meeting in 30 minutes, so let me set a timer, and then you're getting anxious about the timer going off, and then you're thinking, oh crap, I'm not prepared for the meeting. You can't have a meeting in 30 minutes. I found you need hours of uninterrupted time to truly get into maker flow. Let me show you exactly what I do during maker time. For a quick concept, Eisenhower Matrix is this 4x4 grid. In my maker sessions, I focus on what's urgent and important, and I focus on what's not urgent but important. Okay, so in this exact Eisenhower review, you can see in my do first list, I have things like video pipeline review, recording 2 Doola HQ videos, L10 prep plus weekly meeting prep, kudos plus thanks for our monthly investor update. I set that before I go to sleep, and in my maker mode, I open my laptop and I get at it. Next up in the schedule section are things which would be next up. Now, these might not be things which I actually do in that morning. I've set my do first items, but if I get them done, move it right up into the queue. Examples: reading a book called Predictable Revenue, creating a document to define what RevOps is, doing one-on-one reviews, reviewing everyone's alliance documents, drafting our 2026 strategy, and preparing notes for my one-on-one with Eamon. The key to this maker mode too is 0 distractions. I don't look at my email unless I'm intentionally doing it as part of maker mode. My phone is not at my desk. It's by the entrance on do not disturb mode. I keep my phone, by the way, personal and work. I have 2 phones on permanent do not disturb mode. I don't have text on my computers, no notifications on. I'll give you one more analogy for how I think about maker time. One of my favorite books is this book called Essentialism by Gregory McCown. Oftentimes a team is pointing in 50 different directions, but if you can get everyone pointed and rowing in one direction, a small team can crush larger companies. This is where I set the foundation for people, product, and profits. Even if I can only get 2 hours of maker time in, that's infinitely better than 0, even if it's 1 hour. But I really like having 3 to 5 hours in the morning. And if you're like, hey, I don't have 3 to 5 hours in the morning, try waking up a little early and see what you think. All right, it's 10 a.m. and now maker mode is over. It is manager mode. This is when I switch from being the musician to the conductor. But I have to pause here. If any part of your maker mode is, oh, let me go do my books and update the QuickBooks transactions, or, oh crap, I need to go file my Delaware franchise fee, you are not going to make it. Your time as a founder is the single most valuable and high leverage asset in the company. If you are not focusing on what is essential, who else is going to? Who's going to figure out how to build and sell? This is why we have this AI business in a box. And if we can help take this off your plate, we'd love to. Entity formation, bookkeeping, taxes in all 50 states for founders all over the world. Head down below, schedule a free demo with our team. We would love to be a part of the journey. All right, let's get into my real manager work. My only goal in manager mode is bring it on. This is unblocking the team and cramming as many of those context switching tasks as possible into the waking hours. I'm dead serious, that's my goal. A gap in the calendar during manager mode is inefficient. This is where I can go to the quick tasks. This is where if someone messaged me, hey, I got a quick question, I can answer that. It could be a lunch meeting, it could be a coffee chat by the water cooler. Any of those hours I'm using to unblock the team and move forward on quick tasks. I don't need to get into flow state here. I don't have to get mad at myself saying, oh, I can't get into flow. No, I did that during maker time. My goal here is to be the conductor, not the musician. This is a huge reframe I had for the value of manager mode. Meetings are the medium by which managerial work gets done. If you're doing meetings, they don't have to be a bad thing. I used to think of meetings as a time suck. No, they're incredibly high leverage. If your meetings suck, it's probably because you're not doing prep work and you don't have an agenda. So in manager mode, that is the medium by which my work as a manager gets done. It is incredibly valuable to unblock the team. And I know I did my maker work, so I don't feel bad about spending time in these meetings later. Okay, 6 p.m. or maybe 7 p.m. some days, or maybe a bit later, manager work is done. It is time to unwind. Now, typically what I do at this time in life, and maybe in a few years I'll come back and see how this has changed, this is when I unwind and actually go get some exercise. You could keep going. You really could. There's probably more hours in the day you could eke out, but I've found if I don't sharpen my body to sharpen my mind, I'm not as sharp the next day when it comes to my maker mode or manager mode. So this is where the most important thing I do is I will set my do first tasks in my Eisenhower before I close my laptop. That is the last thing I will do before I close my laptop. And let me explain why I think this is so important. If your brain knows this is the first task you're working on tomorrow, it's almost like your subconscious starts working towards it. And the second you get in the next day, you don't have to spend 15 or 30 minutes thinking about what should I do. It's already done. You can attack the day. So for me, after the day, I'll head to the gym. Typically, I like to climb the stair stepper each day. On the stair stepper, I might text friends, I might go through email, stretch, lift some weights, etc. I try to move every single day, do something that's active. Again, I don't just work out for the benefits I get during that hour. I do it for the benefits in the other 23. And this final part of the day for me is about closing loops. I don't want open loops. I want to close loops. I have my task list set for tomorrow. I've worked on my body, so I'm going to be sharp for tomorrow. I've worked my body, so I'm going to be tired and be able to go to sleep and wake up early. Close the loops, end the day, attack the next day. And I'll say this one more time because it's so important. If you do not set your first task for tomorrow at the end of the day, do it. Give it a try. Comment below if it worked for you. I promise you it does. Okay, I did promise I'd show you my calendar. This is an exact screenshot of a Monday through Friday. Let me break it down using the concept we just learned. You can see here in the morning, I literally call it essentialism time. Those are those hours of unblocked time when I can attack those urgent and important tasks and not urgent and important tasks. Then you can see at about 10 to 11 a.m., hard shift into manager mode. Look at all those meetings. My goal is to cram them in and again, unblock the team, move things forward. Then you can see at the end of the day, it's my exercise time. Now I did say some days maybe it's a little past 6, but every day I try to do something active. My brain is tired, my body is tired, I go to sleep, and we do it all the next day. Eat, sleep, LLC, repeat. So that's the system. Maker versus manager mode. That is my day in the life. This is what I do at doola. You see how I work, and this took us to 15,000 plus customers in over 175 countries. But you might be wondering, how did we get to our first 100? I have to credit Y Combinator here. They have a brutally simple playbook to get your first 100 customers. If you find value, please subscribe and watch this video next.